Hello again, and today I'm going to be making a little piggy. I wanted to do something a little bit different from the last couple of models that I've made, and this one just came out of nowhere without really me taking a lot of time to think about it. So let's see how it goes. I'm sure you know the story of the three little pigs. They all built a house each. Big bad wolf comes along and tries to blow them all down. Well, this one's the little pig that made the house of straw. I'm making the body with some Polymer Clay just to get the basic shape going, and as you can see it's a little bit tubbier than my usual characters, but you know, he's a little piggy. You'll also notice that when I was making the armature from metal, I didn't put the arms in, and I haven't got a clue why I decided to do it this way, and I would suggest I completely forgot about it and got so into it I just did it without it. But don't worry, he will have some arms eventually. I got to the legs part and then thought, wait a minute, do pigs have toes? So yeah, they do. They have 4 toes, 2 on the front and 2 at the back. But as you can see, we're not going to be completely accurate again. So we can see his 2 toes at the front, and his 2 ones at the back are obviously just not visible for some reason. Anyway, the pig's wearing trousers, so you can't expect it to be completely lifelike. Same process as before for his trousers, just a little strip of clay blended in, and then we add some wrinkles to the bottom. I should say I did this one without any planning whatsoever. I just decided to make a pig wearing dungarees without any drawing or reference whatsoever. So it was a bit hit and miss. I did cheat a little bit later on when I came to doing his face, because I wanted to get it a little bit more like something. But up until this point, it's just a regular kind of tubby guy wearing dungarees without proper feet. Here I'm making the extra strips to make his dungarees, blending in around the back, and at some point we will add the shoulder straps. Here we are making a pocket to go on the front of his dungarees, So I got that stuck on nicely, and then remembered that I needed to leave a bit of a gap because something was going to go in there later on. So I've just poked it out a little bit after getting it stuck down. Putting a bit of detail in there and some slots for the buttons to go through. A couple of little blobs of clay squished in with a ball stylus and detailed badly with a toothpick. Speaking of details, here we go all the way around, adding some stitching. And I stopped halfway and then picked up the ball stylus again and realised that I was now using the bigger end of the ball stylus, so I had to go around it again to even it all up. Adding some seams. Nope, can't remember what I'm doing there. Oh, more stitching. And using that textured end of the tool to put some texture on his jeans. Magically, he has some arms. They were just stuck on, as he's got quite short limbs, and all was good. Same thing as his back legs, just the two toes on show. And brushing down with some isopropyl alcohol to get rid of any of the fingerprints and other nasty marks that I have made with my clumsiness. Now this is where I had to refer to some sort of a drawing to get the head something like, otherwise it would have just been another human with a funny nose. So poking out his eye holes and giving him a mouth. Now this little pig has the house made of straw, and if you remember the story, it doesn't work out so well for him. So he's got a little bit of a worried face, a bit of a worried expression. So I'm just angling that mouth out a bit. A couple of balls of clay for his eyes. I'm going to go quite cartoony with this one, even more than the usual, where he hasn't even got any eyelids. Just a bit of eyebrow to add to that worried expression. And smooth it out a little bit with the ball stylus. It was around this point that I realised that if I ever wanted to make a frog, I know exactly what to do. Just do a pig without a nose. So here we are, adding a bit more detail into the mouth. And push some teeth in, and giving his lips and his jowls a bit of lines. And then he fell over. And here's his nose. Not quite pig-like just yet. Well, it's getting there. Make sure it's stuck on first, and then fine-tuning the shape. Get a bit of pinching. Make him a bit more pig-like. Give him a few more worry lines. And poke a couple of holes for his nostrils. And suddenly it looks a whole lot better. Adding his ears. Cutting that piece in two, in the hope that I would get them a similar kind of size to each other. And sticking them on with some liquid clay. And of course, the hair on his chinny chin chin, can't forget that, a little goatee. And attaching his head. Just some neck detail, that's all. And almost forgot his tail. Using a bit of Cosclay for this one because it's going to be thin and sticking out a bit, and I don't want it to break. You might want to look away at this point. Because at this point I have baked him when I remembered his tail. Like I said, I was not working to any particular plan, so once I thought it was pretty much done, I decided to give him a hat, because he is the pig with the house made out of straw, so I wanted to use the straw concept as much as possible, so I gave him a straw hat. Just some cross-hatching detail. And rip at the edges a little bit and cut out some slots so it fits around his ears. Adding a hat band, because it just looked a bit weird without one, even though it's going to cause me extra work when I have to come painting it. So here's another little, quite pointless detail, but I wanted to try it. Making a little piece of straw, wheat, whatever you want to call it, just sticking out of his hat. And there he is, all baked and ready to go. I mixed up a pink as a base coat, and that seemed pretty good. But I must say, by the time I'd finished it and added a few more coats on, it didn't look anything like this colour at all. So these are bits of that I trimmed off and then painted yellow. They'll be used later on. I used one of them for his hat ornament. and added a bit more of a pink to his ears and nose and his face, and then changed my mind, went back over it again. Oh dear, that looks terrible. This is a wooden base that I covered in clay and put some texture on it using a paintbrush. That'll go into bake while I'm painting his eyes. I really love dry brushing. Oh yes, I lost some footage for some reason, so didn't show you me painting his beard and his eyeballs. Me darkening his nose again and then thinking it's a little bit too severe. And I decided to give him some eyebrows. I don't really know why, but they're done. They're here, adding some highlights and then changing my mind because I would mess it up. Bit of metallic gunmetal grey on his buttons and a very, very small amount of UV resin on the eyes because I end up usually putting too much on. So I put a little bit on the end of a toothpick and then spread it out. A few different layers of brown on the base. That's me just filling in the gaps. Once he's all dry, bit of super glue, get him stuck down. More super glue to hold all those bits of straw. He's obviously made a bit of a quick getaway and he's got bits of straw all over the place. I barely stuck any to my fingers as well. And there he is. Hope you enjoyed that. I do plan on making more in the series because there are 3 little pigs and a big bad wolf. Let me know what you think.